students. I hope you have followed the two laws which we have done earlier, laws of chemical combination. We have done law of conservation of mass and law of definite proportion. Please practice the numericals on all the laws properly to gain more confidence. Now we are doing third law. The law is law of multiple proportion. First we will see what the law says. It says when two elements combine to form two or more compounds, then mass of one of the element which combines with the fixed mass of the other bears a simple ratio. You may not have followed anything in the law as of now. Let's take example, it will be clear. So in this, two elements should combine. Two elements should combine and should be able to form more than one type of compounds. Like let us take carbon and oxygen. Carbon and oxygen can form CO as well as CO2. Let's see what is the mass of carbon and oxygen, each of them. So it is carbon and oxygen. Carbon is 12 here, 16 here. This is 12, this is 16 into 2, 32. So it says two elements when they are combining and forming more than one type of compound, two or more compounds, keeping one element fixed. We have fixed carbon here. Carbon is 12. It is common. It's by chance fixed here. So we need to compare what is the ratio of the other element which is combining. So what is the ratio of the other element? It is 16 is to 32. That is 1 is to 2. Simple ratio means 1 is to 2, 2 is to 3. Not larger numbers, smaller numbers. Let's take another example. Sulfur, oxygen. Sulfur, SO2, SO3. Even this forms two different type of oxide, two different type of compounds. Let's see how much is the sulfur and oxygen in them. Sulfur is 32. This is 16 into 32. This is 32. 16 into 3. 48. Again, fixed. Sulfur is already fixed here. So with the fixed mass, what is the amount of the other element combining? We have to check the ratio of this. So what is the ratio, children, here? 32 is to 48. If you check, it is 2 is to 3. It bears a simple whole number ratio. This is the law saying. Let's take one more example of it. Let's take example of nitrogen, which forms plenty of oxides. It forms N2O. It forms NO. It forms N2O3, N2O4 and N2O5. Let us see how much nitrogen and oxygen is there in it. Nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen is 14 into 2. That is 28. This is 16. This is 14. This is 16. This is nitrogen 28. 16 into 3. 48. This is 28. This is 16 into 4. 64. This is again 28. This is 16 into 5. That is 80. This is 80. Okay. Now, in this nitrogen is not fixed. What we do is we will fix it up. What we can make the changes here? We can make all of them either to 14. If I halve this to say 14, what will this be? 8. This is already 14. Let me convert all into 14. If this is again say 14, half of it, this will be 24. If I halve this to 14, this will be 32. This again, if I half it to 14, this will be 40. Keeping nitrogen fixed in all, what is the ratio of the oxygen present here? If you check, it is 8, this is 16, 24, 32, 40. That is 1 is to 2 is to 3 is to 4 is to 5. It bears a simple whole number ratio. Clear, children, till here? Let's take another example now. A numerical is there. Carbon forms two oxides which contain carbon this much percent. There are two oxides. In first oxide, this is the carbon. Second oxide, this is the carbon. The question says, show that the figures illustrate law of multiple proportion. Now children, if we know carbon amount, we can find what is the oxygen amount in it. Here, if you check it, it will be 57.1%. If you subtract it from 100, this will be 72.9%. Now, how do we fix this? See, if I write in the first oxide, what is the amount here? 57.1 gram, if I am converting into, is reacting with 42.9 grams. Therefore, if it is 1 gram, this is for oxygen, this is for carbon. For if I am taking 1 gram of oxygen, it will be 42.9 divided by 57.1. You get the answer here as 0.751. This you are getting here in the first oxide. Let's see in the second oxide. How much oxygen and carbon? Oxygen we have written here was in the second oxide 72.9. 72.9 is combining with 27.3. So if it is 1, it will combine with what? 27.3 divided by 27 divided by this one, 72.9. You will get the answer here as 0.376. If you check this ratio with this one, you will get the answer as 2:1. So you will say, since it is bearing a simple whole number ratio, the law is obeyed. It illustrates here. Now we will take next example. Now we are taking the next law. Actually, this is extra only required for competitive exams, but in school exams this is not that essential. So in all we will be doing 6 laws then. Okay, law of reciprocal proportion. Now first I will read this statement. Of course I will be explaining with example for better understanding. The ratio of the masses of two elements A and B, which combine separately with the fixed mass of the third element C, is either same or simple multiple of ratio of the masses in which A and B combine directly. I know, again with the example only you can understand better. In this law, 3 elements are required. First thing, let's take example of carbon, sulfur, oxygen. 3 elements. We will write, these are the elements like A, B, C. Okay. Now, these 2 elements can combine and form one compound. We will write the compound here. These 2 form carbon dioxide. These 2 combine and form sulfur dioxide. These 2 combine and form carbon disulfide. It says you are fixing one of the amount, one element's mass. So carbon and sulfur are A and B elements. A and B elements here are carbon and sulfur. They are combining with the fixed mass of oxygen. Because you can check here, what is the amount of carbon present here? 12. What is the amount of oxygen present here? 32. 16 into 2. What is the amount of sulfur here? 32. Oxygen is 32. So A and B elements are combining with the fixed mass of the third element. Our third element is oxygen. We will check fixed mass, we are not considering. We will consider how much carbon and sulfur ratio is there in these 2 compounds. So how much is the carbon here? 12 by 32. Carbon and sulfur we have written. Carbon is 12, sulfur is 32. Now let us see if they themselves combine with each other. When they combine with each other directly, what is the ratio present there? Let's see here, in carbon disulfide, you have 12. 12 is to 32, that is 64. Okay, this is 12 and this is 64. What is the ratio here? We will simplify this. If you simplify this, you are getting as 3 by 8. By 4 we can cancel it. 4 3s are 12. If I simplify, I am getting this. If I simplify this, I am getting as say 3 by 16. 4 3s are 12. This is 4 16. 64. We will compare these two now. What is this ratio now? 3 by 8 is to 16 by that. I have reversed it. So I am getting the ratio as 2 is to 1. That is the simple ratio they are talking about. Little complicated to understand, but just see again, I am repeating. A and B are two elements which are combining with the fixed mass of the oxygen. In this particular case, A and B is carbon and sulfur, oxygen is fixed. Leave apart, you leave this oxygen, you see what is the ratio of carbon and sulfur in them, that we have checked. Now you compare when carbon and sulfur react with each other, what is the ratio? This ratio and that ratio, if you compare, it will bear a simple whole number ratio. Let's take one more example. We will take example of, say, oxygen, sulfur with hydrogen. Hydrogen is fixed amount we are taking, and these two are our A and B element. This is C. Let's see what compound they form. These two combine and form H2S. These two combine and form H2O. These two themselves combine and form SO2. Let's see what's the ratio. What is the amount of hydrogen by mass? 2. This is 16. This is 2 is to 32. Fix this thing, hydrogen. What is the ratio of these two we have to compare? The ratio is 16 by 32. What about these two? You are having 32, 32 is to 32. That is, you are having here 1 is to 1 ratio. You have to compare with, if I am comparing this, I am getting as 1 is to 2 ratio. So if I compare these two now, so what will I get? 1 by 2, this is 1 by 1. 1 by 1 is to 2 by 1. So I am getting the final answer as 2 is to 1. If I do the reverse way also, you will get 1 is to 2, but they will bear a simple whole number ratio. Is this clear, children, here? So what we have done here, we kept hydrogen fixed. Compared what was the ratio of oxygen and sulfur. We compared what is the ratio of these two elements when they combine with each other. This ratio and this ratio, if you compare, they will bear a simple whole number ratio. Clear? Now, two more laws are there. We will discuss them. They are quite simple. We'll discuss them. First one is, say, that is fifth as per the number, Gay-Lussac's law. The law says when the gases react together, they always do in volumes which bear simple ratio under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. That means, suppose I write the equation hydrogen plus chlorine forming HCl. That is the balanced equation. Till now in stoichiometry we have been discussing that 1 mole of this reacts with 1 mole of chlorine and forms 2 moles of HCl. So according to this law, it says whatever is the balanced equation given, the volumes will be as per that coefficients which are mentioned. Like it will say 1 volume of hydrogen will react with 1 volume of chlorine and form 2 volumes of HCl. Even though I take more of it, it is not going to react. Suppose I take 2 of this and 1 of this, they are not going to react. That we calculate as per the limiting reagents. That means suppose I specify clearly that 10 ml of this. So 10 ml will react with 10 ml only and will form 20 ml. Like we have been doing in 1 mole, we said 22.4 liters will react with 22.4 and form twice 22.4 liters. Right? So they will react as per the coefficients mentioned in the balanced chemical equation. Here, sometimes, in MCQs, NEET and mains paper, you have some questions like this. Suppose equation is given N2 plus 3H2 forming 2NH3. And the question says, 60 ml of this is made to react with 60 ml of hydrogen. What all volumes of the gases will be left after the reaction is complete? If this is 60 ml and this is 60 ml, what all amounts are left over? If we have to calculate this, then what we will do? They are reacting in the ratio 1:3 and forming 2 moles of ammonia, right? So you have to see 60, 60 In same amount they are not going to react. If this is 60, this will react only with 20 ml. Okay, so what will be left behind here? 40 ml of nitrogen will be left behind. Of this only 20 will be reacting. Okay, now how much of this will be formed? This will be 40 ml because double of 20 is reacting, so 20 will be, double of 20 will be formed. So you will be having 40 ml of ammonia formed. So what all will be left behind after the reaction? This product will be formed plus 40 ml of nitrogen will be left behind. This 60 will completely react. Clear? Now, next, last law, Avogadro's law. Avogadro's law states equal volumes of all gases under similar conditions of temperature and pressure contain equal volume, equal number of molecules. This again we have discussed partly in mole concept, but now it is there. We were saying at STP it is 22.4 liter. Now we are saying at constant temperature and pressure. If this is fixed, the temperature pressure is fixed, then we are comparing equal volumes of the different gases. They will contain equal number of molecules. Let's take example. If I take 10 liters hydrogen, I take 10 liters oxygen or 10 liters any other gas. If I am keeping temperature and pressure fixed, if I am keeping these two constant, they will have same number of molecules. Okay, so it says equal volumes of all gases under similar conditions of temperature and pressure contain equal number of molecules. So we can say volume is proportional to the number of molecules present in them, provided temperature and pressure is constant. We will also talk about this law in states of matter. Okay, now you can make note of it.